What is up, everybody? Today we're going to be hitting another long run. We're going to be aiming for about 20 to 25 miles. We're going to go out to the simulation course that I found a couple weeks ago so we can simulate the actual Grindstone 100 course as close as possible in this general location that I'm at. Now, I have to go out on the trails because for the past couple of days that we've been getting hit by the Canadian smoke cloud that has been coming down the East Coast. So I have asthma. I can't be running around outside because I'll pretty much literally die. So I've been hiding up in my house and running on the treadmill, and I've been going slightly insane. So I wanted to make sure that I actually got out for my long run outside now that everything's starting to clear up and get some running done and get that actually good simulation of the Grindstone 100 course again, so I can get those really nice long climbs and then really focus on the pounding running downhill on this course, because that's going to be an absolute killer from the Grindstone 100 course. But I am kind of on a time crunch, so let me shoot off a couple more emails, finish a couple things for work, and then I'm going to jump into the van, jump onto the trail, and try to get this run done as fast as possible. Let me finish up my work, and then I'll see you out there on the trail. All right, so here we are. We are 2.96 miles in, 30 minutes, 41 seconds, with a total ascent of 348. What's that smell? Smells like vape. Somebody's vaping out here. So yeah, 358 feet of elevation gain, just working my way up a hill right now. So I took out the camera to try to make myself calm down a little bit, because especially in the beginning, I like to charge up these things and then I pay for it in the end. So I'm trying to maintain a level pace and maintain the heart rate. How's it going? I'm trying to maintain the heart rate so it can be in control when I'm going down, when I'm going up, and when I'm flat. That's like one of the biggest things that I'm working on at the moment. So I'm fully kitted up. I'm using my BRCC shirt once again. And then I got my Salomon 5 liter, like I was explaining earlier, the 2 soft flasks, 200 grams of, or 200 calories of Tailwind. I got 2 honey stinger waffles with me. And then this is what the hydration pack looks like. Here's the hose. And then so we're gonna get going. On this run. Moving a little slow. I mean, my legs are pretty trashed from the added workouts. I've been adding workouts back in because my body started getting used to the volume that I'm running. So as the body starts adapting to what you're doing, you add in more and more effort, or more miles, or more elevation, or workouts, depending on what you really want to work on, to continue that adaptation process. So now I'm adding in the workouts. Once I get the workouts adapted to, I'll probably start increasing my mileage to around 80 to 90 miles per week, and hopefully peak out around 100 miles before we hit the Grindstone 100. So that's the goal. That's the goal, and that's how I'm gonna try to set up my training, give my body enough time to adapt to the training so I don't get injured and I don't get overuse injuries. So just trying to stay calm and not get excited being out on the trail for first time in 4 or 5 days. So I say so a lot, sorry. But let's get going on this run. Oh, yeah, one last thing. I'm using the Olympus 4s. I found them in the bottom of a box. So I'm testing out if I should use those road shoes, the Vanish Tempos, like I did on the last run I did on this trail, or if I should try to go back to a regular standard trail shoe like the Olympus 4s that I'm currently rocking. So this is a good opportunity to figure out which shoe I'm actually going to do the majority of my training in. But I'm also going to have to do a lot of trail recon on the Grindstone course, because now that UTMB took it over, it does seem like there's a lot more road sections on that course now. So it might be worthwhile just wearing the Vanish Tempos, because I know they can perform on trails and I know they can perform really well on the road, and I'm very comfortable in them, but I am also comfortable in the Olympus 4s. So this is the time that I was talking about in my last video. This is the time to start testing your gear and getting really, really used to what you're actually going to be using and eating during your actual race. So always be testing, always be practicing. I'm still moving up. It's like an endless uphill. I'm gonna put away this camera because I'm working a little bit too hard for being 3.5 miles into my long run. So I'll check you back in a little bit. I'm dying. So we are 7.22 miles in, hour 20 minutes, with a total ascent of 1,1200 feet. And yeah, feeling pretty good. Putting in about 300 calories right now, 350 calories. Probably a little bit too much, but I like how the honey stinger waffles sit in my stomach a lot better. So getting a little bit more calories than I probably should. But working on taking into that nutrition and running with it. My legs are feeling really heavy from this week's workouts. I did a pretty hefty run yesterday on the treadmill. I did 10 miles with over 2,000 feet of elevation gain on the back half of that run. So I can still feel that rust on my legs today. But we're getting the work in, and that is definitely something that I need to work on. It's calling forth the power of my legs when they are tired, because sometimes I get all poopy when I'm on the later stages of ultramarathons, usually around like mile 70, where everybody's fucking tired. But I don't want to push as hard as I probably could push, and it takes like 10 miles of being poopy for me to be like, okay, it's time to go. And then the last 20 miles is usually faster than miles like 70 to 80 or 60 to 70. My last 20 are usually faster. And that might just be because of like adrenaline and like, just being able to actually see the finish line. But also, it's just, I know a lot of it is a mental thing. Other than that, the weather is really nice. I mean, it's overcast now. It's pretty sunny when we started, but it's overcast and it's not too hot. So that's really nice. I'm not melting like I did 2 weeks ago. Now I'm in a dark area. I'm in the darkness of the woods. All right, I'm gonna start working my way down this trail for about 2 more miles, and I'll turn around. I'll probably only get like 20 miles on this run, and then I'll do 10 probably tomorrow or on Sunday. All right, let's get going. All right, so we are 9.25 miles in, 1 hour, 42 minutes, and total ascent 18 feet. I turned around at 9 miles. As you can see, it's starting to get dark because I think some weather's coming in. The wind's really picking up. I'm getting hit by some small raindrops, but I don't want to get caught out here in the rain just because, you know, I don't want to get caught in the fucking rain because that always blows. I've already done enough training in shitty weather with the Yeti 100 where we ended up running almost 50 miles from the outer bands of Hurricane Ian. So, you know, used to running in the rain, used to running in the snow. For regular training runs, I don't think it's necessary just to make yourself miserable all the time. Now, if you never ran or did anything in obscure weather, or if you're running in a race that's going to be super hot, then yeah, you should definitely be training in those same conditions. But if you're just sucking to suck, then that just fucking sucks, and there's no fucking reason for that. You should suck for a reason. Everything should be done specifically for a reason when you're training, because at least for me, when I start doing stupid stuff just to like get my ass kicked over and over again, or just to live in the suck or whatever it may be, I end up getting injured a lot more. I end up, you know, getting burnt out and not training as well as I should be. Then when I actually go out for a reason specifically and build on that specificity. So being very, very specific with your training and the runs, knowing what you need to get out of the run is one thing that I'm definitely focusing on. Because like I say in all my videos, I work a full-time job, I have kids, I have hobbies, I have a wife. You know, I like to chill out, watch anime, relax. And the one thing that I have to be is efficient with my training and efficient with my time, or else it's just not going to happen. And that's the trap that I fell into about 2 years ago, and I paid for it on a lot of the runs that I was running. So, as Jocko says, discipline equals freedom. So, being very specific, doing things for a reason, and not just going out there just to get your ass kicked. Just to get your ass kicked. Unless, I'm saying that as I'm going up a hill, dying. Unless you never had your ass kicked. I think that's very important for some people. You have to have these small glimpses, these small little peeks into getting your ass kicked. So when it happens later in the race, you felt it before and you can accept it. and then troubleshoot on how to dig your way out of that pain, or just to accept it and live in that pain for a little bit. But a lot of times people, and this was the same thing in the military, a lot of times they get blinded by the awesomeness of running a 100-miler, running on a trail, and then they're faced with adversity, they're faced with bloody feet, being super tired, they've never experienced before, and they're just like, this just isn't for me. I just almost died. This isn't for me. And they quit. But unfortunately, that is a big part of any athletic sport. And not even ultramarathon. I'm not talking like ultramarathons are the biggest badasses in the world. Even sprinters have to know how much they can push their body without popping a hamstring. Football players have to play in the snow, have to get fucking ran over by dudes that are 400 pounds and 7 feet tall. You know, it's everything. You're in college, you're doing your degree, and you're studying all night. You're taking tests, you're cramming, you're trying to be a doctor, you're trying to do something hard. You have to live in that pain, live in that suffering for a reason. I felt like I was being watched. I see you. I have no quorum with you. I have no quorum with you, Rip of the Air. Alright, so we are 16.02 miles in, 3 hours, 2 minutes, and 57 seconds. The total ascent of 2,401 feet of elevation gain. This is basically exactly where I was when I first, the last time I ran on this trail, where I started feeling like I was getting my ass kicked. And same. So my legs are pretty heavy, but it's a different kind of heavy than last time. Last time it felt like I haven't trained on elevation gain enough. So my legs felt very heavy. Right now they feel sore. It's like a different kind of burn. And I believe it's just because of the workouts that I've been doing during the week. So it's more of a muscular soreness than like an overwhelming lactic buildup. So that's kind of what I'm fighting through right now. Still moving really well. I'm running up inclines a lot more than the last time I did this run. But still feeling pretty good. These Olympus 4s, I can tell they're trail shoes. They're a lot harder, a lot more ground fill. It feels like there's a lot more impact than the responsiveness. Whenever I wore the Vanish Tempos on this trail, it felt like I had a lot more response, especially on the downhills. For some reason, I don't trust myself as much as I did with the Vanish Tempos, which is like completely messed up because I don't have any grip with the Vanish Tempos. These ones have pretty deep lugs still, so I have a lot more traction, but I seem to be tripping a lot more, as you could just tell. And pretty much every time I talk, I seem to trip a lot more. But if you remember correctly, on the last time I was on this trail, I Superman and ate complete shit. So what's better? Multiple small trips or one giant Superman? Decisions. So I'm just gonna keep grinding my way to the entrance of this trail, and then I should have about 2 miles left. And I might just do like a nice easy cool down on the roads or on a flatter section of the trail. So I will check back in once we get off this trail.
The next day.
All right, so if everything looks a little bit different, it's because it is. It's the next day. I'm on a easy run, just like an hour long easy run. And where I left off from that last clip was around 15 miles. I ended up getting 18 total miles on that trail. But right after I got done with that clip, my head was just aching all in the front, in my temples. And I think it was because I should have waited a day or two for that Canadian smoke monster to clear up a little bit. But I didn't. And it kind of torched me. And man, that headache was unrelenting. So I tried to be safe and make sure I didn't get sick or do anything stupid. And I just called it quits there. So I packed up my shit, got in my car, and then finished on the treadmill where I knew I could control the environment and not breathe in any more smoke. So I went on the treadmill, started running probably like maybe 15 or 20 minutes after I got done on the trail. That trail is pretty close to my house. So I started at a faster clip, tried to maintain that pace so I could simulate kind of going up and down, dead legs, all the damage, lactic acid, and all that bullshit started to settle in my legs, so they were like dead. My feet were like tired, and then I went and I just went right back at it, which is similar to what happens when you take a longer break at aid stations. So kind of simulating that, went back on that faster pace. It was like a 9:30 pace for 3 miles and tried to sustain it as much as possible. So sustained that for about 3 miles, and then I went right back up to a hard incline at about 15 to 20%, at about 15 minutes per mile. So kind of slow, but at that incline, it's a motherfucker. I did film a bunch of shit when I was on the treadmill, but for whatever reason, my microphone's absolutely crapped out on me. So I explained everything that was going on. I was just talking to a GoPro that didn't have a microphone. I even did an outro on my computer, and that microphone crapped out on me too. So that kind of sucks. But ended up getting 4 extra miles on the treadmill. 4 extra miles on the treadmill, and they called it good for the day with 22 total miles. And man, I put in the work. So let me finish up this easy run. I just wanted to explain what was going on with that weird ass run. And let me finish up with this easy run, and I'll do a nice outro and wrap everything up from, I guess, this 2 days of running that I've done. All right, so there you have it. That chain of runs is finally over. Just got done with my easy run on Sunday, the day after the big long run that I did. So just to go back, now that I have the information in front of me, I ended up doing 18 miles, 3 hours, 28 minutes, and 47 seconds. And I got 2,648 feet of elevation gain out on the trail before I had to tap out and DNF on that run. And, kind of protect myself, go back to the house and finish up on the treadmill. On the treadmill, I got 4 miles. I said 9.5 pace, but the first 3 miles I was running about 8:30 pace. And I did that for 3 miles. And then for 1 mile, I did it at 15 to 20% at about a 15-minute mile pace. I think at the end, I had to go down to about 3 miles per hour, whatever that speed is. I think it's like 17 minutes per mile, because I was absolutely toasted. Ended up getting 517 feet of elevation gain with a total amount of 22 miles and 3,165 feet of elevation gain. So that was a hefty workout. It was a long freaking workout, and it was all disjointed and crazy, but that's kind of how it is for us non-pros. You know, this is kind of what I want to show with this YouTube video, is how average people or people with 9-to-5s that have kids, that have families, how we can work really, really freaking hard. It's just sometimes we have to sacrifice time. Sometimes we have to like mix it all up and do crazy, weird workouts just to get it in. But make sure that you're out there staying consistent. If you have to cut your run short, finish up on the treadmill, finish up running around in circles in the parking lot or in your community. Oh, what the heck? Oh, I had a little dead bug on me. I was getting swarmed by these stupid black flies. It's almost black fly season, so man, those little freaking annoying bugs. It just went. Yeah. I wish they would just fly in my mouth so I could just gut them and have extra protein during my run. But they like to bomb and hit myself in the freaking face. It's freaking annoying. But anyways, you know, stay consistent, get out there, adapt, overcome. Finish out your workouts, you know, make a good schedule. So then it's so much easier to like shift things around when you actually have everything properly scheduled and you have your weekly goals, your daily goals. If something crazy happens, then you can actually shift it around and adapt and overcome a lot better. So be very, very specific with your training, be very, very specific with your schedule, and you can get it done. You can stay consistent. You can have a full-time job. You can have hobbies, and you can still have a part in this ultramarathon world. It kind of sucks sometimes, but you know, you have to pay, you have to sacrifice, you have to get out there, you have to crush. You're not going to go and run 100 miles, a 50K, no matter what. At some point of the race, at some point of that big goal and mission, you're going to hurt. So in your training, you should try to hurt a little bit, you know, and don't hurt yourself, don't get injured, but, you know, touch and feel that pain, touch and feel that sacrifice. So then when you encounter it in the race, you'd be like, oh, hey, I know you, and you can charge forward and live in that pain and get your fucking mission done. So get out there, stay consistent, chip away, become an average savage. Let's go. Let's fucking get it. Get out there, kick some fucking ass.